Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. I'm Hudson.
And I'm Allie.
Coming up, does Mr. Owl like frozen yogurt?
Also, was this the worst Super Bowl ever?
All that and more on the way next. Congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks. They're your Super Bowl 60 champions. 8772 Radio U. What did you think of the game and the whole event last night? Let us know at 8772 Radio U or with the talkback button in the Radio U app. But I'm going to say it. Allie, that was the worst Super Bowl in my life. The worst Super Bowl I can remember. All part of it from Green Day to midway through the fourth quarter when I turned it off and went to bed. It was a bad Super Bowl. The game was bad. The commercials weren't memorable. The halftime show was fine, but not enough to make up for it. Not a kind of thing of I'm glad I watched that.
No,
I'm glad I sat through that horrible game and commercials so I could see the halftime show. It was fine. So there was nothing about it. There was nothing about it that was excellent in any way.
Yeah, I was going to say, for all of the controversy surrounding Bad Bunny performing at the halftime show, it was a pretty just okay halftime show. Nothing too controversial about it, nothing too raunchy about it, in my opinion, which I think was the big worry, although I don't really know what he's saying, so maybe it was terrible. But yeah, it was really not that bad compared to some other halftime shows we've certainly seen.
It was better. It was definitely better than Usher.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at a recent list of performers. I always forget that Usher even did it because I have no idea what he did and what happened.
Yeah, the Usher one was out of nowhere because he was way past his prime.
Yeah, that's so true.
But yeah, the Bad Bunny halftime show, it's really not going to be one that's remembered very well in history.
I'm like you. I don't know what half of was being most of what was being said. I appreciate the production value that was put into it.
Certainly.
But it's not like I'm going to be thinking about that for a while. Yeah, that's right. But all that said, the game itself was a bad game.
Yeah, it was not good.
I sometimes appreciate a defensive struggle, but that game, it just wasn't entertaining to watch. What was the highlight of the whole first half?
Nothing.
What was it? Yeah, tell me a highlight.
Field goals. I mean, yeah, it was a boring game. I went to bed early because the game was already won by Seattle by the time the third quarter had finished, and I was just like, I gotta get up early tomorrow, guys. Yeah. Good night. So I went to bed knowing that Seattle was going to win that game because it was I don't know, at that point 29-0. It was 29-7, and I was like, okay, I think I'm good.
That ought to do it. Yeah. I mean, obviously, credit to Seattle. Their defense played great. Kenneth Walker, their running back, wound up getting the MVP, the Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
And he had a pretty good game, too. He ran for over 100 yards, but I really feel like he wasn't the MVP. But how do you just choose somebody on their defense when the whole defense played well? It was just how could you narrow it down to one person? Let's just give it to the running back that had a good game. So, it's not like Seattle's not deserving or anything like that. Sam Darnold's a cool story that he goes from just everybody else on the Jets, a nightmare, no matter probably how good he could have been if he was on any other team, to finally getting redemption and winning a Super Bowl with the Seahawks.
Right.
So a nice story, but it was just a bad game. It was not fun to watch. Nothing about last night to me was fun. I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it either, and I really wasn't that excited going into this game in the first place. There just wasn't. I know we talked about it off the air. There just wasn't a lot of hype going into this game. I think personally, the NFL had a down year. And it's weird to say that because I feel like the regular season was very exciting, filled with lots of very exciting games. And yet we end up with the game that's supposed to be the pinnacle, and it's the most boring game of all time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just how it's going to go sometimes with football.
It's bad luck. We've gotten two more or less blowouts the last two Super Bowls, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
But sometimes that just seems like how it happens. But at least last year's with the Eagles and Chiefs, there was a rooting interest. It was Patrick Mahomes, so you're like, could he come back?
Right.
And the Eagles were scoring points. This game had no points even. It was a blowout where nobody was scoring. I don't even know how that's possible. So it was just, it was tough. Cullen says, I was bored and I had no stake in the game.
Yeah, exactly. I think that makes us even more bored. Is if you have no stake and it's not an exciting game, why even watch?
There was hype last year in another blowout that you had a rooting interest, whether you were 4 against the Chiefs.
Or 4 against the Eagles in Nene's case.
4 against Taylor Swift. Like there was a reason to care last year. This year, not a lot of rooting interest in the first place, and then the game comes out and it's just a dud. And you're just like, we waited all season for this, and this is how it's going to end.
Pretty bad. 8772 Radio, you text in.
Yeah. Boop, 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 boop. I want to know what your favorite Super Bowl commercials were from last night.
Gotcha.
I already have let my feelings be known that it was the worst Super Bowl from beginning to end that I remember in my lifetime, including the commercials, like just the whole presentation. But that doesn't mean there was no good ones.
Yeah.
What were your favorites from last night? 8772 Radio, you let us know. Allie, William already got in.
Okay, what did he say was his favorite?
William says the best part of the Super Bowl, in his opinion, was the Dunkin' Goodwill Hunting commercial.
Oh, yes, the Goodwill Dunkin'. That one was fun. It was very nostalgic, obviously. But the people that when they're made to look younger, it still looks really creepy to me. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just not right. Like, they just don't look real. And that just throws me off a little bit, you know? Because I'm just like, they look a little, like, robot-y.
Yeah, I get that. But it was nice seeing all of the celebrity cameos.
Right, they threw all of the classic sitcoms, a lot of, like, 90s sitcoms together. And so that was very nostalgic, but I just personally don't love the look of them because it's just like it creeps me out a little.
And while I did like seeing all the, like, everybody getting back together, a lot of the people from those sitcoms and stuff from back in the day, it hits a major criticism that I have of Super Bowl commercials. And it's like just putting a celebrity or like cramming as many celebrities as you can into a commercial doesn't make it a good commercial at the same time.
And Dunkin's been doing that for like year after year at this point.
Yeah, like you actually have to have a reason. Just having somebody that maybe we recognize in there isn't a pitch. 8772 Radio U. Yet again, I'll work on fixing this button that broke for some reason. But in the meantime, you can text in and let us know your favorite Super Bowl commercial or commercials from last night. We'll see what people are saying. Text in your thoughts on the best Super Bowl commercial. What was your favorite from last night? Or you can hit us up with the talkback button in the RadioU app. We had already heard from William, who says his favorite was the Goodwill Dunkin' commercial.
Yep.
And we got a bunch of other people getting their thoughts in as well, Allie.
Yeah, we heard from Adam. He says, I personally feel like the tight ends commercial was the funniest and best. That one was for, I think, was it for prostate cancer? That they were like telling people to test for that or something?
I think so.
Yeah, but it was funny. It had a lot of, famous tight ends in it.
Yeah, although I guess if you don't remember what it's actually for, it didn't really do its job, did it?
That's how I feel about a lot of Super Bowl commercials, though, is it's actually like you don't really remember what the commercial was for.
They distract from what the actual subject is by trying to make it entertaining, but then you walk away remembering the commercial, but not remembering what it was about.
Yes.
Thomas said, I like the Jurassic Park Xfinity commercial. Otherwise, it was mostly disappointing.
I agree that the Jurassic Park Xfinity commercial was a bright spot of the commercials last night. And, we just talked about how you don't remember what the tight ends commercial was even for.
Yeah.
The Jurassic Park Xfinity one works perfectly because it plays on the movie, which does have a failure with their whole, internet system, early internet.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense that Xfinity would be like, we solved that problem, and now everything's working. And so you do remember what it was about because that's what the movie's main problem is their whole system goes down. Yeah,
that one makes sense. Billy says, do you remember this one, the singing toilets for Liquid IV?
I did not see that one.
That was probably after you went to bed because that was later on in the game. I remember seeing that one.
Okay, I missed
but literally, it was the toilets. What song were they singing? Now I can't remember.
Okay.
Dang it. He says Budweiser.
Yeah, I really like the Budweiser commercials every time. I don't drink beer, but I happen to think the Budweiser commercials are always very fun. And this one was very inspirational with the eagle flying, and it had an actual rescue eagle in the commercial, I learned. And so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I agree. That was a fun one.
What was your favorite, Allie?
I would say my favorite was probably either the Jurassic Park one, or I also really liked the Instacart one with Ben Stiller and Benson Boone.
Okay.
And then I liked the, it was for a company I've never heard of and I don't ever plan to use it, but Ramp with Kevin from The Office.
I don't remember that one.
That one was really short. It was like a 30-second commercial, I think. But anytime you get Kevin from The Office, I'm going to be immediately loving it. But basically, Kevin's multiplying and they're showing that if you have this service, you can like multiply yourself, get work done more efficiently, faster, better. And so I was like, great, an office with like 1 million Kevins in it, I'm in.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea for
It was
commercial.
funny.
I must not have. Maybe I was getting food while that happened.
Maybe.
Brian says tight end commercial was for prostate cancer, and I laughed so loud at that one. The ones that stuck with me, I do like the series that's been going on with Uber Eats since like last Super Bowl, where it's like football isn't made to sell you food.
Yeah.
This one with Bradley Cooper and Matthew McConaughey. It was funny.
Yeah.
But I take away some marks for that one because it's been a like series that we've been seeing over and over again. But I also thought the polar bears for Pepsi was funny.
Yeah, the polar bear.
Especially with the Coldplay concert ending was hilarious.
Yeah, the polar bear was definitely a direct attack at Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
So Pepsi's out for war. Yeah, that was a good one. I think we need to give some creativity props to Emma Stone and Squarespace. That was a decently creative commercial to tie in the begonia and Poor Things idea.
But overall, though, like what would you rate the commercial experience? I felt like there was less effort put in this time.
I feel like there's less effort, and I don't think I'm going to remember these overall, because I know we've talked about like Super Bowl commercials that we remember from years ago.
I can hardly remember any now from last
night, right? I'm struggling to remember. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna look back and be like, "Yep, I remember all of those commercials." Maybe the Jurassic Park one, but I don't think I'm gonna remember these.
You go back a couple. I mean, it might have been last Super Bowl, but the singing seal for Baja Blast, like I still think about that.
Oh yeah, that was from last year. Yep.
So, I did want to mention too, the Cliff Booth movie trailer for Netflix. That caught my eye.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, but that's just because I'm super excited. I mean, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is like my favorite movie from the last 10 years. So I'm just excited to go back to it.
Same here.
That was cool to see. Now let us know at 8772 RadioU, how much of the Olympics have you watched so far? Allie, how much have you gotten to check in on?
I've watched some hockey, watched U.S. women's hockey. I've watched a lot of figure skating. Yesterday, Team USA won gold in the team event, and so that was really exciting, and I'm excited to watch more of that, and definitely excited for Thursday when we get to see men's hockey get going, because that to me is probably the thing I'm most looking forward to.
Oh, yeah, of course, obviously. I think tomorrow on the show, we should be able to take a look ahead at the men's hockey at the Olympics, as well as look back at the NHL's first half of the season. But at the moment, that hasn't started yet. I watched some of the opening ceremonies, which are always so confusing to me.
Why?
I think even if it was in English, it would be confusing to me because it's so artsy.
It is very artsy.
Like, it's just like, how can we, like give the theater kids a chance, how can they feel included in this as well?
In the Olympics, which is all about sports.
Yeah. Like, where can they get involved? Let's have some opening ceremonies where like people dress up like Leonardo da Vinci or something. Like it was very confusing to me.
I much preferred it, and I know I mentioned this with the Summer Olympic controversy in Paris, that I prefer it when it's just a parade of countries and not anything complicated. I think we have made it way too complicated.
Yeah, I don't know when this
elaborate things, contraptions
this
and
like
shows.
multi set piece stage play things with music and singing, and it's nice, and some of the singing was very good, and like I appreciated it, but I also had no idea what was going on and what this has to do with the Olympics whatsoever.
Right, like let's focus on the Olympians. That's what this is all about, and they they got here deservedly so, and so our focus should be on them.
It also doesn't make any sense to me that the opening ceremonies were like 2 days after stuff had already started. Like things had already opened.
Right. We'd already been doing events for like 3 days.
Yeah. But I watched a lot the last couple days. I watched some curling. I watched a little bit of women's hockey. I watched some speed skating just because that happened to be on.
Yep.
And I watched some luge because that happened to be on.
Oh boy.
Those guys are like surprisingly maybe it's the form-fitting suit, but they're like kind of beefy, you know what I mean? Like they all seem to have like a dad bod.
They do.
Not the kind of body I was expecting on Olympians. But then I was watching, and I'm sure a lot of people saw this yesterday, the women's skiing.
Yeah.
Where Lindsey Vonn crashed out, as in physically crashed out, not emotionally. Like 13 seconds in, right as soon as she had left the gate for her run in the final, and she crashes, and they had to airlift her off of the mountain.
Yes, incredibly sad. Lindsey Vonn, if you don't know, she had an injury that happened right before the Olympics started, where she, I believe, tore both her ACL and MCL. That's like your entire knee, your entire leg.
Yeah, so how is she even out there?
I have no clue.
I know my dad tore his ACL, and when you tear your ACL, you can actually not know that it's torn if you're just doing day-to-day life because you can walk with it and stuff. It just keeps your knee from going side to side.
Yes.
But if you're trying to ski, that feels fairly vital.
Right. It feels super vital. And we're talking about like her entire knee, ACL, MCL. She's had terrible knee injuries in the past. And so I was shocked when she announced that she was still going to ski. I knew this was going to end poorly. They said when she was doing her practice and like skiing before this final that she was most definitely favoring that leg. And I'm sorry, when you're skiing, you have to put you have to put weight on both sides.
Yeah.
And so I just think that's what threw her off. And if you watch like this moment where it happens, she like spins in the air, like turns in the air. It's very weird. And so I just think overall it was a bad decision to try and ski on a knee that's just so badly injured.
Yeah. And even now, though, the last I've seen, they're not ruling her out of other events. And it's like, she already had a torn ACL.
She's got a broken leg now.
Yeah,
It broke her leg yesterday.
How are you not ruled out? Maybe this story is just out of date, but they're like, she's not ruled out.
No way. She had
I'm
surgery.
ruling her out.
She had surgery yesterday, guys.
It's time for our Monday tradition, the box office breakdown, looking at what made money and what didn't in theaters over the weekend. Allie, would you care to guess what the number one movie in America was this weekend?
I'm so bad at remembering what movies we even talk about on Friday. I don't know.
Just name a movie. Just name any movie.
Any movie ever?
Yeah.
That's way too broad. I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember what came out.
Failure. The number one movie did not come out this weekend. It is 2 weeks old. It is Send Help.
Okay.
Send Help. Rachel McAdams, Dylan O'Brien, Sam Raimi. Send Help got number one at the box office for the second week in a row, making another $10 million. Not too shabby. It's up to about 35 mil here in the U.S.
That's pretty good.
Not too shabby at all. Number two was a movie that came out this weekend that we talked about in the weekend watch list, Solo Mio.
Oh, yes.
With the hairless Kevin James. That made $7.2 million.
So overall, pretty weak box office weekend.
A paltry showing, to say the least. But this was a weekend where, there wasn't any huge, massive releases.
New releases.
And it even says here that studios may be focusing more on advertising which movies are coming out over the summer at the Super Bowl as opposed to trying to get somebody to go out and see a movie this weekend.
That was definitely the case with the Clip Booth movie, Supergirl. All of those were advertised during the
Minions, Mario.
So many of them.
Number 3 at the box office was Iron Lung, which came out last week as well.
Okay,
the Markiplier movie, which that got $6 million. So that one's done pretty solid as well, I would say.
I was going to say, too, when we did the box office breakdown on Friday, I saw this afterwards, but did that Dracula movie come out last weekend, too?
It did.
Because we didn't talk about that.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a smaller, like a limited release.
Okay.
But there was a new Dracula movie out this weekend. That came in at number 5 at the box office.
It definitely reminds me a lot of Gary Oldman's Dracula movie. Like, it's very similar in scope. I guess, like the storytelling-wise, it looks very similar to that. So that's why I think I might be interested in checking it out.
Yeah, that sounds like you.
I watched it for the very first time last year, and I had not seen it. It came out in the 90s, but I really liked it. And so I might have to check out this new Dracula movie.
All right, now you know what time it is. 8772 Radio U. We need to hear from you what you've seen lately. We want to know your reviews from this past week. I know I have 2 things that are pretty important to get to.
Okay.
That I got to see over the weekend. Allie, do you have anything? Or if not, I have 2 for one for each of us.
No, I do have something to talk about.
Right.
Sorry, I won't let you take the whole time.
8772 Radio U. We'll get to those reviews coming up. We just did the box office breakdown, looking at what made money this weekend. And number 1 was Send Help Once Again. Number 2 was Solo Mio with a hairless Kevin James. And number 3 was Iron Lung. Let us know what you've seen lately at 8772 Radio U or by using the talkback button in the Radio U app. Aliana, you said you've seen something. I was going to say, though, you said you were interested in Dracula, which did come out this weekend and finished 5th.
Okay.
Matt says, I hope the vampire movie doesn't suck out.
Vampires do suck, though.
Thank you, Matt, for that. What have you seen before I get into my 2 reviews?
Your 2 reviews, yeah. So I finished Fallout Season 2. The finale just came out a couple days ago, and I have to say, this is definitely my favorite game adaptation that we've ever gotten, that I've ever seen. I would have probably previously said that would have been Last of Us, but there were aspects of the Season 2 of Last of Us that I didn't really particularly like.
Pretty frustrating. The first season, great, though.
First season was really, really good. And so I would have said, oh, yeah, that's a great thing to point to, as video game adaptations can be good. But then it fell apart a little bit. But Fallout Season 1 and Season 2, I think, really do stand up quite well. And I'm very excited. They set up Season 3 very well. It's following a lot of the game lore. And so I'm enjoying this a lot. And if you are a lover of the game Fallout, I say definitely give the show a try. It's very good.
All right. I have to give a shout out to, I think it was Nate last week, who let me know that the Muppet Show had already dropped the 1 episode reunion Muppet Show thing with Seth Rogen and Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah.
On Disney Plus. And so I did get around to watching that, and I was satisfied. I was happy with it.
Okay.
It wasn't like, I don't know if it was everything I was hoping it to be. I'll definitely say, like, compared to the Jason Segel Muppets movie, I definitely still think that was better.
Okay.
But this, like, if we get 20 more episodes of the Muppet Show that are like what we got this week, I would definitely be watching it.
Is that how many we're supposed to get? 21?
No. They played into the fact in the episode that it's kind of like, this is the test run. And so, like, the storyline in a way, there's, as much as there even is one, is like, can we get more Muppet Shows out of this kind of thing?
Interesting. That's like an old time pilot when an episode would air and then a year later you would get a full season of the show.
So I'm definitely hopeful that we'll get more Muppet Show, but definitely none of that is set in stone or really been talked about yet. But I don't know if you'd like it as much, because Statler and Waldorf were definitely near the top of, like, the most screen time.
Okay.
But it felt like a modernized, like, updated version of the classic Muppet Show. So
all right,
I was satisfied with it. My one major qualm, though, Kermit's voice.
Not good.
It's not right. I'm sure. I mean, you'd get used to it, I guess, but his is definitely, like, noticeably different.
Interesting. Yeah, that's hard to fathom because his voice is so iconic.
Yeah, obviously Jim Henson did it for a long time, and then he passed away. But then for the longest time since then, it's been somebody else or maybe multiple different people. I don't know. It's always sounded right. And then in this one, it definitely did not sound right.
No, they need to find somebody who could do it spot on. Come on.
I could audition. And then I also watched Marty Supreme.
Oh, okay. Yes. Give the thoughts.
Okay. If you saw Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler, which was a Safdie Brothers movie, this is very on that same, like it's a very similar movie to that.
Okay.
It's only one of the Safdie brothers directed it, Josh, who seems to be the better of the Safdies, I think, at this point. And it's similar to that movie. It has a little less edge, a little more heart to it. Mm-hmm. But I really liked how it was unpredictable. I feel like I kind of saw where it was going as an overarching, like how it would end.
Yeah.
But every step along the way, I didn't know what was coming next. It keeps you guessing. And you just got to give props to Timothée Chalamet. I don't know if I loved him, particularly as Paul Atreides in Dune. I don't know if he's the perfect fit for that character.
Okay.
But I
really like him there.
I can't picture anybody else
playing
doing this
Marty
character.
Supreme.
Yeah. He's just perfect for it. He carries the movie. It's all about, like there's a lot of different other interesting characters, but without Timothée Chalamet to hold it all together, it just wouldn't work. Yeah. And so he carries the movie, and it's amazing.
He's a phenomenal actor. I know that we've talked about some people having Timothée Chalamet fatigue. I don't have it. I don't have it yet.
Yeah.
I
Not
love
in movies.
Him.
I feel like I like his personality, but it's also just he's just being seen a lot.
In real life.
Pushed. Yeah, he's being pushed a lot. But in the movies, I'm still open to seeing him in more and more stuff.
Yeah, I think he's fantastic, and I am definitely ready for a full career of what we're going to see from Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah. So.
Get him in a Quentin Tarantino movie is what I want to see.
Seriously. Anybody who's taken more than a couple flights in their life has probably heard the magic word before, mechanical. And you know what that means.
I know that. Why?
Because when they say mechanical, that means your flight's not going anywhere.
Oh.
And they can tell you a time. They can say 15 to 20 minutes, but it really means you're going to be stuck for a while. It's never just 15 or 20 minutes. Never once. Never once 15 to 20 minutes. I don't know why they say that.
I don't know if I've ever had this problem crop up for me.
You've never had a mechanical? You ever had de-icing?
I have flown a lot.
Uh-huh.
And I've never had a mechanical issue. Usually issues I would have, it'd be like, well, we're stuck in a queue in the taxiing line, and we have to wait our turn.
Mm-hmm. And I've had that.
If you've ever flown Frontier, you know you're always at the back of the line.
For some reason, yeah. I have had that, but I've had de-icing most often. Okay. It's like we need to de-ice the plane. But then the worst you can get is mechanical. Mechanical means...
It's too broad.
Yeah, it's purposely vague, I think.
It's like, what exactly is wrong with the plane?
In a way that I think is supposed to not worry you, but also definitely worries you.
Yeah.
But we have a recent flight from Philadelphia to Boston where they got those magic words, mechanical issue.
Oh, no.
But this shows you how broad the term is.
Okay.
Because it was a mechanical issue that was supposed to take 15 to 20 minutes. And that might have been true. Because this mechanical issue was a clogged toilet. And you would think that you could get a clogged toilet fixed in 15 to 20 minutes.
You would hope.
You would hope. But that was not the case. This flight, it looks like, was grounded for several hours because, in part, the crew was refusing to try. I guess they gave up or just refused to try to clean up to fix this toilet.
Ooh.
It got so bad to the point where some passengers offered to clean the toilet, to unclog the toilet on this JetBlue flight.
Oh, no.
And the staff declined. They said, you can't do that.
Why not?
I don't know. I have no idea.
That's kind of weird.
And so eventually this flight wound up being literally canceled, this JetBlue flight from Philadelphia to Boston, because it had a mechanical issue with the toilet being clogged.
I'd be so upset if I was on that flight. I'd be like, you've got to be kidding me. That's not reasoned to ground a flight and cancel it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really frustrating, especially such a short flight, Philadelphia to Boston. That's going to be like 30 minutes.
You think about the time, the time that they spent waiting, they could have been there and back.
Right. Well, like a 30-minute flight, you don't desperately need a bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
I'm sure it's the rules.
I know
I just
it
don't
is.
know why anybody would not unclog it.
Yeah, why would
Isn't that part of the job?
I would think the crew members would be taught how to unclog it. And also, I'm always shocked and amazed that an airplane toilet can get clogged in the first place. Because if you've ever flushed an airplane toilet, you know
There's some power.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like your at-home toilet that's just like a flow of water. It's like air just sucks everything down.
Yeah.
And so it shocks me to hear that these toilets still can get clogged. Like, what did somebody do to that
Somebody
thing?
must have had quite a meal. Because it literally tells you what it was clogged with, and it wasn't anything that you wouldn't expect to find in a toilet.
Yeah,
Let's just put it that way.
I would hope so.
JetBlue, more like Jet Brown.
Gross.
At least it wasn't you. At least we can all sit here and go, at least this wasn't us.
Yeah, at least we weren't on that flight. I feel
Yeah.
bad for the people that were, though.
It's at that time of year, Allie. Football just ended, of course, yesterday.
Yep.
Hockey's on a break.
Yep.
Until it gets started at the Olympics. It's college basketball season. Like, we got to pay attention to something.
I know. Next month is going to be March Madness.
Yeah, and what comes with paying attention to college basketball is court storming.
Ah, yes. The complaints are ramping up already, aren't
Yeah, the debate, the court storming debate. And we got some good fuel to the fire this weekend. Duke played UNC in North Carolina.
they? Yeah.
North Carolina wound up winning the game, which also gave their fans the opportunity to storm the court, which they did prematurely, we might add.
Oh, no.
So I'll say, as a pro court stormer, you got to wait till the game's actually done for sure. You got
Yeah.
to be like really sure that it's over.
Right.
But the fans did storm prematurely, so we're anti that. But I have good news and bad news, Allie. The good news is Duke coach John Shire, who was a real stickler about court storming in the past. This time, he says, I think court storming's fine. I don't have any issues with court storming.
He said that?
He said that. That's a quote.
Really?
Yeah, so
We appreciate that, John Schreier.
we've won him over.
Okay.
But he also claims that some of his staffers got punched in the face by North Carolina fans.
Okay, that can't happen, guys.
No, that can't happen. That's
Court
wrong, of
storming
course.
can't turn into assault.
But we also have at least that I've seen, we don't have any evidence of this. It's just what he's saying.
Okay.
So I don't know. I feel like he's been anti-court storming in the past. He always seems to have some kind of complaint after any time Duke loses.
Yeah.
They can't just lose. There has to be something that somebody else is doing wrong. So I don't know that anybody was punched in the face, but I mean, it is true. We want to keep the court storming safe, but we just don't want to lose the court storming.
Yeah, I am definitely pro letting fans and college students celebrate a big win. I don't want that to go away. When you watch a game, especially if it's your team that's winning a big game and they have the opportunity to, flood the court, flood the field, whatever, it's exciting, I don't want to take that excitement away. And so I think I agree with you. We need to do this in a way that's not going to hurt people. We don't want somebody getting punched. Like, that's just dumb. But I also don't want this practice to go away.
Yeah, and for anybody that is like us that wants to continue with the court storming, if you were to storm the court and punch somebody, you're just making it more likely that the court storming gets taken away for everyone. So we don't want that, of course. But
exactly.
If we can get any actual evidence of somebody actually getting punched in the game court storming on Saturday night, I would love to see it because I don't know that I necessarily believe it until we actually have some more concrete accusations here.
Fair.
But I also feel like while I'm pro court storming, North Carolina, like, they're ranked.
Yeah.
I feel like the court storming, it still needs to remain special. And so I feel like this is on the edges. It's a rivalry game, so I guess I'll allow it.
Yeah.
But I feel
get
like
what
it's
you
still,
mean.
it needs to be
They
a special
feel more-
occasion.
They feel more equal, even though there's, I believe, at that point there was 10 spots of ranking between them because
Yeah.
North Carolina was 14,
I-
Duke was 4.
I don't know if you can ever storm the court if you're ranked, though, if I
That-
really ever would sign off on that.
I understand what you mean, but I could see like a number 25 if they're storming the court because they just beat number 2 or beat number 1. Like that's a huge deal for their school. But yeah, I think I overall agree with you. It's more special when it's an unranked team knocking off somebody from the top 5.
Yeah, but be prepared. I feel like now we're in conference games. College basketball's heating up.
There's going to be a lot
There's
more
going to be
of
some
this.
upsets, and yeah, this debate might come up a couple times, unfortunately, in the next month or so.
Yeah,
Your circumstances do not dictate God's presence.
very true.
8772 Radio U. I think for some people, when you're going through something difficult, for whatever reason, it can feel like God is really far away.
Yeah.
I can go through the list of things that you could be going through, but it's so weird because like if your family member is far away, if your girlfriend is far away, and you're going through something, you just know like, oh, I can just pick up and call her and whatever. You should be able to, right?
Yeah.
FaceTime, whatever it is. But for some reason, when we're going through something difficult with God, it feels like he's so far away and like we can't just connect with him. Vice versa, though, I feel like a lot of times, too, when things are going really well, you can also feel like God's far away and not in a bad way. It's just like you just don't consider that
Yeah.
God is the reason that so many great things are happening to
Right.
you, But the great news is that God is just as near to you, whether you're going through something great or going through something very difficult or for most of life when you're just in the in-between. God is always there. Jesus is always close to you and ready to be there with you through whatever it is you're going through, even if it doesn't feel like a lot. God wants to be a part of your life every single day, the good and the bad and the in-between. And no matter how you're feeling, your emotion, what you're going through does not mean that he's closer or further away.
Absolutely. And I just think I like to dwell on the idea, when we spend that time with God, when we're talking with him and developing that relationship that we so desperately want, but sometimes our minds or our body or our schedule get in the way of that. When we actually spend time with God, like our lives are just so much better. Have you noticed that? Like
It feels better.
Yes, it just feels so much better. And I think that's just one point of evidence to show that you should be, spending time with God. There's many others, but certainly just the experience of knowing that when you do spend time with God, your day is better. Your relationships with other people are better. Your patience is better. All of those things improve. I think that's a real a sign that we should be spending that time with him, because when we have a relationship with God, things just seem to be right. Even when things aren't going right all the time, still bad things can be happening, but it's just like everything just falls into place.
Yeah, so make a habit out of that. And if that's something you've never done before, then today's a great day to start to say, hey, God, I want you in my life today, and I want you in my life every day, and do your part to make that happen, and God will do his. Jesus is there, and he's ready to be there with you through every single thing you're going through. And all you need to do is ask. If you want to know more, RadioU.com/free gift. Heads up! Valentine's Day is this Saturday. Do not forget, if you're in a relationship, do not forget that Valentine's Day is this Saturday. And you got to prepare. You got to budget. Because I'm looking at the stats. A lot of people are saying, 2016 is back.
Oh, no.
Not when it comes to Valentine's Day. Not when it comes to prices.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
In 2016, Valentine's Day, like the classic Valentine's Day stuff, would cost $512, which is still a lot. But in 2026, a full Valentine's Day celebration estimated to cost $774.
Why? Why are people spending that much money?
It's gone up so much. I don't know who all does this, but like this is what they're basing that off of. Is the classic Valentine's Day would be a Valentine's card, a box of chocolates, diamond earrings, which is like the lion's share of this, a dozen roses, and dinner for two. So if you added all that together, in 2016, you could have done $512 for all of that. Now, $774.
Wow, that is a lot of money. I get the appeal of wanting to get diamond earrings. That sounds so luxurious and so nice.
Yeah.
But diamonds, guys, they're so expensive. And
Every Valentine's Day, you're signing up for that?
Every year, do you really need a new pair of diamond earrings? I just don't think that's really, like, I don't even have one pair of diamond earrings.
Mm-hmm.
I have all just like regular jewelry, and I have a few pieces of jewelry that look like real diamonds, but they're not. Mm-hmm. They could be considered maybe like costume jewelry. But I just don't understand why you would spend that much money every year. Like maybe one time get such a nice gift as real diamond earrings, but like every year?
That's a lot. And I don't think a lot of people are doing that, but that is like, if you look at the list of what are the most popular Valentine's Day traditions, that's one of the things. So I guess if you're just talking about classic Valentine's Day, and it's not like everything else hasn't gone up in price too. It's crazy.
True.
So how do you save money this Valentine's Day? 1, don't get diamond earrings. 2, in the most obvious step, go to shop.radiou.com and just buy a brand new Melt Tea for $10 this week only. That's
what I was kind of thinking. And I would say you probably want to get your shirt like by today if you want to hope to be able to give it to somebody on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. And Valentine's Day, you want to do the thing where you're like showing a picture on your phone of like, this is coming for you.
I've got a gift receipt.
Yeah, they'll be like, sure you do. Sure you do. Well, you can have it all to yourself because we're through.
Oh, no.
But some of the other ideas to maybe save some money on Valentine's Day without ruining it is track your spend, like set a budget.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something maybe the two of you can work on just be like, hey, this is about how much. And then it's still on you. Like if you're the guy, it's still on you to figure out how to best use that.
Yep.
But at least y'all are kind of on the same page with it. It says here, financial advisors also recommend using cash back and rewards cards wisely.
I think that's just
that's
general.
a super frugal Valentine's Day of like, all right, how can we get 1% cash back?
Cash back.
And prioritizing meaning but affordable gifts to keep celebrations memorable without hurting long-term finances. So like macaroni art, like make it handmade jewelry. It's the thought that counts.
I mean, sure, but
it's like Mother's Day.
I was gonna say that sounds like something a child would do.
Yeah.
So maybe don't do that. But I think there are plenty of great and meaningful gifts you can get that are not going to be super expensive. Mm-hmm. I also think that there are ways that you could celebrate Valentine's Day, celebrate your love without having to break the bank.
Yeah. Well, think about this as a good advice for any point in a relationship, but I think particularly for Valentine's Day, think about what the other person's love language is.
Yep.
And then focus on that. So if it's quality time, have a good date, like just go out to dinner or whatever it is. If it's gifts, then maybe you do get the diamond earrings. If it's like touch, coupon book. Do the massage coupon book. Free foot massage.
Free foot massage.
Like whatever it is.
What a great Valentine's gift.
Yeah.
Free massage.
Maybe you cook for them. Like you just think about what their love language is and emphasize that.
I like that idea.
And shop.radiou.com for the $10 Melt Tea. Send in your verdict on this case at 8772 Radio U or in the Radio U app using the talkback button. We have a lawsuit involving Tootsie Roll.
Oh.
In fact, they are suing, I don't know if you ever heard 16 Handles, the frozen yogurt chain.
I've not heard of them.
I don't know exactly where they're all located, but I've definitely heard of 16 Handles before. Tootsie Roll is suing 16 Handles, accusing them of using a bootleg version of the famous character Mr. Owl from the Tootsie Pop commercials.
I love Mr. Owl.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Tootsie Roll claims that 16 Handles has used a bootleg version, that's their quotes, bootleg version of Mr. Owl in connection with a frozen yogurt product called Chocolate Pop. Creating the candy company says a misleading and unlawful association with Tootsie Pop. According to the lawsuit, the character used by 16 Handles is confusingly similar to Mr. Owl, who asked the question, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Tootsie Roll is claiming that 16 Handles intentionally copied and exploited its trademarks, including the owl character and the pop name, to try to create the look and feel associated with the Tootsie Pop products, or maybe even try to trick people into thinking the Tootsie Pop is involved with 16 Handles in some way, which could cause, again, these are their words, Tootsie Roll's words, confusion, mistake, or deception to consumers.
Deception.
Yeah. I was deceived.
I've been deceived. This is not Tootsie Pop.
This isn't Tootsie Pop at all. The company has sent a cease and desist letter back in November of last year, but apparently, I guess 16 Handles ignored that, and the Tootsie Roll is saying the response was inadequate, and they continued infringing with this owl character. So now we need to ask you, should 16 Handles have to pay up and obviously stop using their owl character with the chocolate pop, or is Tootsie Roll going overboard here?
Well, I feel like I am kind of at a disadvantage to give you a ruling, as a judge here, because I don't have any evidence. I can't see the picture.
Yeah.
The article didn't include anything.
I mean, I've been looking. I've been searching. This is definitely a lawsuit. It was filed last week.
Okay.
But I cannot find any pictures of said owl that is being alleged here.
16 Handles scrubbed the internet.
They did. They cleaned it all up, which makes them sound guilty, doesn't it?
It does.
8772 Radio U. What do you think? Has 16 Handles, the frozen yogurt shop, been ripping off Tootsie Pop's Mr. Owl character to try to make people think that they could put Tootsie Pops in their frozen yogurt? Let us know your verdict. We are doing You Be the Judge. Let us know your verdict on this case. Tootsie Roll suing 16 Handles frozen yogurt. It's a chain that I'm assuming it's one of those frozen yogurt places where like you have a bunch of different choices. You serve yourself, you do it, and then you add your toppings, and then you pay based off of the weight.
That would make sense with the handles.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I've never been to 16 Handles specifically, but I've been to other yogurt shops similar. The lawsuit is claiming, Tootsie Roll is claiming that 16 Handles used a bootleg version of the Tootsie Roll character, Mr. Owl, was used in advertising for Tootsie Pops. And in a way that could confuse people visiting 16 Handles into thinking that it was actually a Tootsie Pop flavored, frozen yogurt.
Yeah,
that it was actually an official collab.
Yeah.
We had a tough time finding pictures of this owl, which made us think guilty. And that's what Tim said, too, at 8772 Radio U. Tim said, since you guys can't find any pictures, it sounds like they're guilty.
Yeah.
Well, we've had a break in the case.
We found a photo.
Allie, based off of the photo, this press went out on one of their social medias. What do you feel?
It definitely looks like the Tootsie Roll owl. Like to the design, the only thing that's different is they just made him a different color. Mm-hmm. But he looks exactly the same to me.
And this picture is particularly troubling because it not only shows the owl, but also the owl is holding what they are calling chocolate pop.
Yep.
Which, when I saw a different picture, I was like, oh, chocolate pop, it's like a cake pop. But no, the way it's shown here, it's even like the same font as Tootsie Pops.
Oh, no.
They were totally ripping it off and thought they could get away with it.
Yep, they did.
Tootsie Roll seeking like millions of dollars in damages, as well as to make 16 Handles stop.
Uh-huh.
And all the legal fees and everything like that as well. I feel like my verdict is definitely going to be guilty. I think 16 Handles in trouble here.
I think so too, especially because of the precedence that's been set. Thinking particularly with like the Buc-ee's logo stuff, them going after other gas station chains that would create logos similar to the Buc-ee Beaver, and they would win in all of those cases, even if the animal was not even the same animal. It's not a beaver, it's a dog, it's a crocodile, it's like all sorts of different stuff, and they would still win. So I think there's a precedence here that is in favor of Tootsie Roll. And here's my thing. Tootsie Roll gave 16 Handles an out. They gave them cease and desist letters back in November right? Is that what
Yeah,
I think
it was
is
November.
said?
Yep.
And so
that's like 3 months.
yes, they easily could have stopped this and avoided being brought into court for now potentially having to pay Tootsie Roll millions of dollars. Which Luke sent this in. According to Google net worth, Tootsie Rolls were $2.8 billion. 16 handles were $28 million. So it's not like 16 handles has a whole bunch of money to throw around, like compared to Tootsie Roll. $28 million is still a lot of money, but I would imagine that they would much prefer not to have to give them millions of dollars.
Yeah, Luke says that Tootsie Roll needs to stop being a bully, pick on someone your own size. Just because you're worth a lot of money doesn't mean people can just rip you off.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And if you saw these pictures, well, you can definitely send them to you at 8772 Radio. You just say, I need to see.
Yeah.
We'll send it. They ripped it off. It's not, it's very clear.
It's blatant. It is blatant copyright problems, infringement, and all of that. And so I think it's more just a scenario, Luke, where, I would agree with you if Tootsie Roll had sent out that cease and desist earlier.
Right. They gave him a chance.
They gave him a chance to stop.
And in the Buc-ee's cases that we've talked about multiple, those are much more like borderline, where I probably would agree with Luke in that case.
Yes, 100%.
But this is, I'm telling you, we got to send you the pictures.
Yeah. Luke says he wants to see it.
This is the Tootsie Roll. This is a bootleg Tootsie Roll Owl.
Yeah, they described it very well. Tootsie Roll did. Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.